everyone. My name is Heather, and I am the co-founder of the Mental Health talkHUB on Patreon, and I am super excited to welcome you to the first episode in a 5-part series on how to get your mental health memoir published. Today's episode is the 5 most important things you need to do today in order to write your memoir, and you might be surprised by what these are. By far, the most important first step is to identify your why. Why is your motivation important? Because your why for writing your memoir will influence the best route to do so. It will be the basis for your roadmap. People write for a variety of reasons. You might want to write for your own enjoyment, or you might want to share your story with friends and family, or maybe you're viewing this as a business investment, such as a calling card or an add-on for speaking engagements, or maybe you just think your story will help others, or possibly you are hoping this will be an income stream for you. Maybe you want to sell lots of copies, or your motivation might simply be a combination of all of the aforesaid. I have a word of caution. There is absolutely nothing wrong with viewing writing as an income source. Many people are journalists and authors relying completely on communication for their livelihood. However, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the industry has changed drastically in the last 20 years. No longer is writing your book the most difficult part of the process. Getting someone to read it is. Let me explain. With the rise in popularity of vanity presses and self-publishing, there is no longer the gatekeepers of traditional publishers, focusing on quality and market control. In fact, there is no barrier to entry for anyone to become an author anymore. Anyone can get their book listed on Amazon. This means a couple of things. First, the market is flooded daily with new titles, all competing for a sale. According to Bowker's, the data manager for books in the U.S., in their 2013 to 2018 report, 4,500 self-published books are released a day in the United States alone, and that isn't including all the titles from traditional publishing houses. Secondly, at the same time more titles are being released, more content is available for free on just about any topic on the internet. Why would someone pay to learn about the symptoms of PTSD if they could just Google it? Audiobooks are gaining momentum, and this is the third point. This is a double-edged sword because it is also easier to get your book produced as an audiobook than it used to be. I don't share these facts to discourage you from writing your memoir. Who knows, maybe you will be the next Malcolm Gladwell. However, tempering your dreams with a little dose of realistic expectation is sometimes a good thing. It allows you to pursue your desire, but have a realistic view of the economic ramifications of writing your book. Most don't become millionaires on writing their book, even the bestsellers. So, if in step 1 you discover your why for writing your memoir is because you want to put it on paper for you, you can skip right all over these 5 steps and start writing right away. However, if you would like a few people to read your book and or sell a few copies, I suggest you go on to step 2. Step 2, come up with a branding strategy. A catchy name for your online presence. Don't overthink it, but make sure the title is simple and reflects what you are all about. One of my authors wrote his memoir about what goes on in his mind. He is a former medic and deals with post-traumatic stress. His branding is absolutely brilliant. It is simple but effective. A medic's mind. Another one of my authors attended a partial hospitalization program, then rehab. That was a central theme in her memoir. Her friend had nicknamed these places Save My Life School. And voila, what a perfect branding title. The third step, if you haven't already done so, is to start a blog. If you hope to sell your content to people, they need to be already invested in you. Gone are the days when people randomly picked up a good-looking title from a shelf. Bookstores look more like gift shops, stocking their shelves with reading socks and tea. Why? Ebooks don't take up shelf space, people shop online more, and subscription models for content are becoming more and more popular, such as Audible, Spotify, and certain Amazon platforms. Put yourself out there today. When you are finished watching this video, open up an account with WordPress the second this is done if you don't already have a blog. People want to taste the pie before buying a piece. That is why sampling works so well in places like Costco. Let people sample your writing. Once people know your style, what you write about, once they feel connected to you, they are more likely to one day purchase your memoir. To gain followers, start hanging out in cyberspaces of people who would be interested in what you are writing about. There are tons of groups and business pages to follow to find your target audience. Comment and engage on these pages to gain interest. But be careful though. Don't be a spammer or self-promote if that is against the page's rules. Another great extension is to start a podcast. More and more people are listening to podcasts while in their cars. The cool thing about podcasts is you can also include guests or various formats. An easy and free place to start podcasting is at a site called anchor.fm. Not only is it free, but they will distribute to all the major platforms for podcasts. As a dovetail to this step, also establish yourself on the major social media platforms, opening business pages. You can do so as an author, an expert in your field, or an expert in your lived experience, using your branding consistently across all platforms. Post engaging content and pull in your followers with questions and polls so they feel part of the process. In fact, I engage followers when Winter Tickle Press is developing a book. It helps to get the buzz going long before the publication date. For example, I will post 2 possible cover designs for a book so people can vote and comment. Although I consider comments, the ultimate decision is in the hands of the publishing house. The real value, though, is that potential customers feel part of the process, personally invested. If they feel they helped to shape the product, were part of its making, a co-creator, so to speak, they are more likely to buy it. Moving on to step 4. Get traditionally published somewhere first, such as a magazine or an online platform. Get what the industry calls tier sheets. Tier sheets are samples of published writing you have. So many people who I've advised recoil at this suggestion. Why should I waste time writing an article for a magazine when I could be writing my memoir, they ask. Well, there are several reasons to get publishing experience. The first, it gives you credibility. A publishing house is more likely to look at you if you have tier sheets already. Someone else, other than your mother, likes your writing enough to publish it. Like Simon Cowell on American Idol, sometimes you need that honest feedback to point you in the right direction. Secondly, it gives you real-life experience going the process of getting published, dealing with the editor or the publishing house. Invaluable practice for when you do the same for your book. Where to get published, you may ask? There is a fantastic resource called The Writer's Market that lists hundreds of places to submit your writing, and better yet, to whom and how to prepare the writing. It is a pricey book, which is updated annually. However, most public libraries carry them. And the final step, speak every chance you get. If you get invited to talk to the local Girl Scouts or Rotary Club, take it. In my experience, those who sell the most books are those who share bits of their story in public or online constantly. I can't emphasize this enough. Even before you start writing your book, establish yourself as someone who has a story to share. Feel free to tell your audiences that you're planning on writing a memoir and remind them to watch out for it. That is 5 steps I suggest you start working through today. Then, of course, you need to start the process of actually writing the book. What exactly is the genre we call memoir? How many words should it be? What are common bad writing practices? All those great questions will be addressed next Tuesday, so be sure to pop back for episode 2. So just to recap, 5 steps you need to start today to start writing your memoir. Step 1, ask yourself why you want to write your memoir. If that includes hoping others will read it or you would like to bring in some income, then proceed to step 2. Create a simple but effective branding. Step 3, start a blog and set up social media accounts. Step 4, Get some traditional publishing experience under your belt. And step 5, speak and network every single chance you get. If you have any questions about this specific episode, please post them below and I will be happy to address them. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and happy writing.